Unlike the butterfly sleep. Oh. Very tender.
Eric said that.
Hello. Hello. Could I please get everyone's attention, please? Jay. Thank you. Alrighty, so we'll be starting very soon. Just before we start, can we please make sure that everyone has Arduino IDE on their laptops? Because if you don't have Arduino on your laptops, we need at least one person each group to have one, because we'll be doing a few exercises today, and you guys will literally need it for the exercises. Thank you. Alrighty, we'll be getting started. Oh, latecomers, could you guys please sign in with our QR code? Oh, already did. And just making sure you guys have Arduino on your computers. All good? Perfect. Thanks, guys. I should have me crack my neck earlier.
But just the right one. Yeah.
All right. Could I please get everyone's attention now? Awesome, thank you. So today we'll be going through Arduino basics. In part one, we'll be going through a quick introduction. We'll go through the Arduino Nano hardware, interfacing with the Nano, and an introduction to basic Arduino libraries. All right. So with the Arduino. So the Arduino is basically just a microcontroller that allows us to interface electronics with computers. For the Sumobots competition, we'll be using the Arduino Nano to control our robots. And on the actual board, we have pins that will allow us to connect our electronics, and we can utilize the Arduino IDE software that I've gotten you guys all to have on your computers to implement our ideas. All right. So what we'll be using today is the Arduino Nano, the breadboard, and the Arduino IDE that you'll be downloading. And yeah, all right. So let's see size for that. Anyways, So this is just basically the board for the Arduino Nano. As you can see, there's digital pins and analog pins. Yeah. The difference between digital pins and analog pins on the Arduino Nano is that digital only has 2 states of high and low, whereas the analog has a range. Okay, awesome. All right, Arduino Nano pins have, as I already said, have digital and analog pins, and they're assigned with multiple functions. However, the main function is to act as either input or output. What we'll be using during the Sumobots competition is the ultrasonic module distance measuring sensor, the IR infrared line follow sensor, and the button for inputs. And for outputs, we'll be mainly using the DC motor. All right, so pin types. All right, so for analog, we can only receive analog and digital signals. They cannot transmit analog signals, only digital. For the Arduino Nano, the analog pins can be used as digital outputs, and analog input pins convert input voltage between 0 volts and 5 volts to a digital value via ADC. For the digital pins, we can only receive and transmit digital signals. Each pin can provide or receive a current of 40 milliamps and has a pull-up resistance of about 20 to 50K ohms. Each digital pin can be used as an input or output, and it has high or low signals. And as all of our inputs are digital, we will only be using the digital pins, and we'll only be using digital pins today. All right, so just features of the Nano. So we have the TX-RX, which is serial pins. There are power pins as well. The 5-volt pin supplies 5 volts, whereas VIN can supply between 7 to 12 volts, depending on the power supply. The USB port, it loads a program from the Arduino IDE onto the Arduino board. And the reset button basically just resets the program on the Arduino board. For breadboards, I'm sure you guys have probably all used breadboards in an electrical course. If not, it's actually really not that bad. So basically, we just have horizontal holes that are linked together, but not across the middle divider. And we also have vertical bus strips, which are continuous down the side of the board, but they do not cross the middle divider. All right.
So the Arduino environment can be extended through the use of libraries, and they're essentially a collection of code that makes it easy for you to connect to a sensor, display module, or whatever sensor you're using. So it'll just give you more functionality, so it'll give you access to functions to use. So setting up Arduino software, open up your IDE and make sure your board type is correct. So if you guys want to do that now, so plug in your Arduino and go down to the tools menu and make sure you have the board selected as Nano. We also want to make sure that you're using the correct COM port. So an easy way, a hard way to check is using a device manager. You search through and you look for the CH340 or similar, but the quick way is just unplugging it and plugging it in. So I'll just let you guys select your Nano now. Yeah, because the person who's meant to have their stuff. Nothing to do with it. Alright, can I get a show of hands of anyone who hasn't done what's on the board yet? We're all good to move on? Okay, cool. So, to add new libraries to your Arduino IDE,
can we get everyone's attention, please? Thank you.
So to add new libraries to your Arduino IDE, locate the sketch tab at the top of the page and include library then manage, but we won't be doing that today, just in case you guys wanted to add any other libraries. But yeah, we won't be doing that today. So time for an exercise. We'll be using the LED on your Nano to write a word in Morse code. So we have some starter code inside that pasted link right now if you guys want to go take a look at it. Also, it doesn't include a Morse code table, so you might want to search that up yourself.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah. So the next question will be next week. So yeah, you can do this message and I'll add you to the list. There's things that you know. That's the
So, they actually had something that I didn't have.
Okay, thanks.
Does anyone have an adapter?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, so like,
Wait, no.
yeah, so I thought we donate adapter for the blog.
Yeah, just by like when you went to do this right function, yeah, the function you can just plot a function, just like if you go but technically you can just keep copying these things.
I mean, you guys can mentor now if you want.
Yeah, obviously it's one way. Or you can
Start with Arduino.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I have messaged you.
That's ways to make it faster. Yes, you can just make it. Yeah.
This is going a lot better than Tuesday.
It was alright.
Apparently we need
Oh, yes. That's official.
Official here doesn't seem to be official.
Don't let it go to your head.
I just I mean like bugs though.
If anyone needs help, please put your hand up.
Joke is, I have like 15, but then she is in brackets. My last name is Doe. So it's like dog, but it's Doe.
I do have a.
I also live on campus, so whenever you come, you can just like hit me up. But I also like, yeah, okay. But I'll see it, but my laptop travels pretty fast, so I might not see it. I'll see it. Yeah, I'll see it. Oh, okay. Because my students take my student exams, I broke my glasses, I took a nap, and then I slept on them, and then my feet cracked. So I didn't they make it on the spot. Yeah. So what I did is that my guys, like a bunch of previous years, I took a vlog. Yeah, it was so stupid. It was. We also need the sponsor. You just need a save. Yeah, but that's a little bit long.
I'm here for.
because they don't even know that they have to do their like the voice. Yeah, they're like asking what is the like how they start, like they don't know how to start. How you mentioned that it's all inside, right?
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't coded before, just want to clarify, make sure you put all of your code inside void loop. That's all. So I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to finish off this exercise, and then we're going to move on to the next one.
This is still your part, right?
Yeah, I think. Yes, so much. All right, we'll be moving on.
Excuse me, everyone. Could I please get everyone's attention again, please? We'll be moving on very soon with our presentation. And it seems that everyone has completed the exercise. Can we please focus at the front again? Thank you so much. All right.
All right, so this is this should be a sample solution for you guys in case you guys wanted to see. So we'll just be moving on with the workshop. So we'll just be going over some revision of some stuff. If you guys haven't coded before, this is an if-else statement. So essentially what it does is it lets you branch bits of your code off. So if a condition is met, then you run a certain part of the code. Otherwise, you run another bit. So if you take a look here, the flowchart has, if is the variable resistor value greater than 500? If so, then turn on the LED, and if it isn't, then turn it off. And that is it written with the correct syntax. So just in case you wanted to branch it to maybe more than just two things, you would use an else if statement. So that's an example of it right there. And going over looping. So the bit that you guys coded in just a moment ago, the void loop, essentially what that does is anything in there that you run is repeated over and over indefinitely. And some loops, you can also give conditions to break at certain points. So in this case, while I is less than 255. So it essentially prints the word Bluey 255 times inside your serial monitor. Well, 256 times. So to get values from your pins, you create a variable. So you define the type, so like integer, and then you name it, so current sensor value. And then you assign it to digital read and whatever input your sensor is plugged into. So yeah, that's your bit.
All right. So now we'll be covering content regarding the ultrasonic rangefinder. This is actually quite important, guys, mainly because this is what you'll be using primarily to measure distance with your robot. So this can be used for a lot of things, and we'll be covering that quite soon. All right. So the ultrasonic rangefinder, how does it work? So the ultrasonic rangefinder is used to measure the distance between the sensor and its object. When it works, it emits a sound wave at a specific ultrasonic frequency, and after a certain period of time, it receives a sound wave reflected by objects in the detection area. Okay. Wait. All right. So the ultrasonic rangefinder, as you guys all probably have them in your kits, except for the guys in the back, but we'll give you another one to just have a look at. The ultrasonic rangefinder basically has the 4 pins, which are the VCC, so the 5-volt power pin. This supplies the power to generate the ultrasonic pulses. There's also the trigger pin, where the Arduino sends the signal to start the ultrasonic pulse. The echo pin, where the ultrasonic rangefinder sends the information about the duration of the trip taken by the ultrasonic pulse to the Arduino. And the ground pin, which is just connected to ground. All right, so what can we use the ultrasonic rangefinder for? This is just a bit of inspiration for what you guys can try and code for your actual Sumobot. So it can be used to track the opponent with multiple rangefinders by creating a primitive tracking system to push them off. We can use it to tell the robot to increase speed once in close range to the opponent to push them out of the arena. And if it detects an opponent advancing, we can use the ultrasonic rangefinder to do a fancy dodge or attack maneuver. It's all up to you guys, and good luck when you guys actually do have to code it. All right, so this is just some basic wiring for the ultrasonic rangefinder. We'll have pin 13 for today going to echo. We'll have pin 10 on the nano going to the trigger, and ground to ground and VCC to 5 volts. We'll be going around again to help you with all the wiring as well, just in case. But you won't really need your breadboard for this exercise, but if you want to try and use it, you're welcome to. All right, so the IR line follower. A line follower consists of an infrared light sensor and an infrared LED. It works by illuminating a surface with infrared light, and the sensor then picks up the reflected infrared radiation and based on its intensity, determines the reflectivity of the surface in question. When light falls on a white object surface, it is almost fully reflected, and in the case of a black surface, light is completely absorbed. This behavior of light is used in building a line follower robot. All right, so the IR line follower features and specification. So 5 volts of DC, detected distance is 10 millimeters, built-in TCRT 5000 sensor. It's compatible with Arduino and Raspberry Pi. The detector type is a phototransistor. Operating range within 20% relative collector current, 0.2 millimeters to 15. And typical output current under test, IC is equal to 1 milliamp, and IR emitter wavelength is about 950 nanometers. The line follower contains 3 pins, in which the VCC and ground pins are connected to the 5-volt supply, and ground pins to the of the Arduino. And the output pin of the IR sensor can also be connected to the Arduino. All right, and this is also a preliminary wiring for the IR line follower, but we will unfortunately not be using this today. All right, so time for another exercise. We'll be using the ultrasonic rangefinder to measure distances, and the startup code for you guys will be on this link. All right, thank you.
Yes. Do anyone have any questions on the content?
Yes.
So you'll have to define the
Yeah.
For the
Maybe
No, I was replying to something in Discord. I was hoping it was just sensor. You gotta. Wait, no. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. You know what? So. It's a device that basically.
What's that? I could just leave it here. Oh, the taste can, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Everything alright? Yeah, so it's we're just gonna get back to the wire. Just so like they have everything.
And it's not very good. Yeah. So it's not very good. Basically, using that is mixes stable. So, and usually it really passes quite often. So, I mean, being it, yeah, the youngster. Well, the second part's the issue.
So just in case you guys need help with wiring, I have the wiring diagram up right now. And if you guys still need access to the starter code, I wrote the link on the board. Welcome to being alive again.
someone.
Since you made it just sets it to like. I mean, it's not obviously. Oh, yeah. Oh, dark mode. That's right. No, it's not, you know, the style, it's not very dark and gloomy. Yes!
If anyone still needs help, please let us know. Yeah, what's up?
Is it possible to connect to, you know how they have the male to female, right? Could you connect two male to females to make a male?
Yeah.
I want to say,
Okay, yeah.
you're gonna have a not a film myself, like that.
It was pretty sure. Yeah.
I feel like you were going to say chill and then just instantaneously switch to it.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard.
I mean, if you still have panic, give it to me. I don't want to work.
Unfortunately, I'm not infectious anymore. Just remind us.
I want to ask you to remind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I see something.
How much longer on the workshop is it?
So, in all fairness, we'll release a few like right? And then like after that time, it's like exercising, calibrating. Process one is we have slides
Once again, not set. We're not set.
Because like the reason why that's next is
The proof doesn't do anything except just print to the serial number, right? There's nothing regarding to the distance, whatever. So it's just declaring the bin.
and then like I'm gonna release
But it's not gonna try the sensor, right? It's just gonna print. Right?
we'll get up to the code.
Because people are like confused, like what does the
Okay, everyone. Excuse me, everyone. Can I please get your attention again? So we'll be releasing a few lines of code in like 3-minute increments, essentially speaking, so that you guys can basically get some basic ultrasonic sensor code to use. All right, there we go. So wait, that's what I already showed, I'm pretty sure. There we go. All right, so that's just the void loop, right? So basically for this one right here, I believe that it's just to send a pulse towards an object and back. And basically speaking, you're going to need to calculate the distance using code, and we'll be releasing those few lines of code in a few minutes. But you guys can give it a shot yourself first, and then we'll help you guys afterwards. All right, good luck.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. Yeah.
So like,
okay.
I mean, just to reiterate, this is what the code does. Okay.
Just to reiterate or explain what exactly is happening with this code, just in case anyone was wondering. So in our solution, we have created constants named trig pin, which is 10, corresponding to the pin you plugged into. Echo pin is 13, corresponding to the pin you're plugged into. Your max range is 400, your minimum range is 2, and the speed of sound, which we have as 0.0344. So we fill up our void setup, which essentially just initializes the pins that we're going to use in our Arduino. And we start with the loop. So this is sending a pulse that we're going to be reading later. You guys can figure that out because we're slowly showing the solution.
All right, guys, we'll also be releasing a few more lines of code. So if you guys want a bit more help, it'll be coming up literally now. All right, so this is basically just the end of the code. So basically what you see is calculating distance from inputs. And then there's also printing distance into the serial monitor. Those lines of code are not too hard to follow, but if you guys need any help, please let us know. And also the pastebin link is there for the completed exercise.
You're gonna have high numbers for us. That's what we could think. You're gonna have basic as well. We're gonna be expected to do well. You have to do it. You have I mean, just only this. I mean, just numbers. It's just numbers. It's just numbers.
Holy shit. Oh, one piece. Oh yeah. There's also 7 minutes to run.
I'm gonna give them like maybe 2 minutes. I'm gonna wrap up and explain all the code.
Yeah, I think a lot of them
I explain like each code. And then I'm gonna explain what's extra. It's not
Distance,
like
like,
duration divided by 2 multiplied by the speed of sound. Because like from that thing that we have, so if we go back, should be going back on this one. Yeah. If we go back, there was speed time. So this distance on speed time. So it's so we have the speed of sound here, and time is the duration. Do you know how that works? Yeah. And that's just a whole cycle.
yeah. We just tell them how to access the actual, so they have to like
Control and
or you click that.
what is the thing?
And it thinks that they conform.
Time to move on, time to
Listen,
explain.
like maybe reiterate really quick.
Yeah.
And then I need to go. I need to do something. I need to say something.
All right, guys, I'm just going to be explaining the solution now, just for anyone who didn't understand. So at the top here, we are defining constants to use, just reiterating over what I said earlier. So trig pin is 10, echo pin is 13, like what we were using, your maximum range, minimum range, and your speed of sound. Here, we're just setting up what we're using. And inside the loop itself, we made 2 variables that are of the float type. It's duration and distance. And in this section here, what we're doing is we're sending the pulse. So it says here trig pin is low, which means it's off for 2 microseconds. And then we turn it on a high, which is turning it on for 10 microseconds. And then we just turn it off again. And the time that it's off, we calculate the distance using our inputs. So we assign duration to pulse input. So it reads using the echo pin from the pulse that was sent earlier. And using our distance formula from earlier. So if you remember, the way it calculates is speed times time. So going back to that, yeah, we do duration divided by 2 multiplied by the speed of sound. And we're printing into the serial monitor. So to access your serial monitor, you go into tools, and in the drop-down menu, you'll see serial monitor to open, and you can see where everything is printing. So here we're just printing distance equals, and if the distance is greater than or equal to your maximum range or less than minimum range, then we're out of range. Otherwise, we'll just be printing the distance in centimeters. That's all.
Alrighty. So pizza has arrived, everyone. But before you guys can go and eat, we're just gonna have a really quick talk, about 2 minutes from Reese from Unbound. So guys, please pay attention because if you guys are looking for XP training, he's the guy to come to. Alrighty, thank you.
Hey guys, sorry, I won't interrupt for too long. I think I came and had a chat with you a couple of weeks ago. But if, in case I'm new, my name is Reese, I'm from Unbound. We're running a sort of program in conjunction with this, which is recognizing the project's work. And if you want to make that count for industry experience, we've got a sort of a couple of deliverables and things that we run on side by side. We've had quite a number of applicants from here and on Tuesday as well. So I just want to get a quick gauge if you were someone that applied and you were interested in the program. So come around and chat, potentially no one here today, that's fine. If you are interested in sort of making this count for 10 industrial training days, no costs and things like that, you can have a chat with me today before we go, so we can still resume. But the first of our short webinars we have outside of this is next Monday. It'll be recorded, so you don't have to be there live, but it's basically just introduce the program and a little bit about what Unbound is, what we do. And we'll just be running over sort of the next 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks in conjunction with Sumobots. And then finishing up at the end, obviously with a Sumobot competition and just report and a video which satisfies the criteria for industrial training. So you might be hearing this for the first time or the second time, that's cool. Come have a chat with me today. And if you are someone who's already applied, come let me know as well, and I can come and have a chat a bit more about the details. That's all I'll say. Thanks very much for your time, guys.
Thank you. Yep. And you guys are welcome to go grab pizza, but we do have an extra exercise for you guys that you guys probably would want to pay attention to, mainly because it's just to teach you guys how to calibrate your own ultrasonic sensors. It's not too hard. You guys can probably grab some food, come back inside, and then we also have a few more things just to go over as well. All right, thank you.
Also, if you're not on the Discord yet, come join on this QR code. I'll have it up later. But essentially, we made a new channel where we'll have the rules change log, and this is where we'll be updating our rules.
In theory, you know.
I don't know which one Janice wrote. Janice wrote one of them. Yeah, I don't know which one she just wrote.
She just read this because that was like.
Yeah, so I don't know which one that was. I don't know which one said.
Which one's one, which one's two?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask her.
They don't give it to me outside for a while.
So I just think the extra exercise was a difficult. They're just calibrated. So like you know how like they upload this exactly perfect.
Yeah.
They just get a rule in front of it, plus minus whatever.
I mean, I can do that. There's no one there.
Which camera am I looking at?
Wait, there's no one there.
Is there someone?
Yeah, there's no one there.
Oh, what? Well, I guess the recording's gonna have you wait on the camera.
So we ran a program. Oh wow. Basically, working on an actual project in Sumobots doing basics, something that is and they kind of sort of like extending function as you find how you to extend that value. And then just semester round we like to set resources for that's just that's something that we're attractive to. The industry experience so so we've got that support for you, which is also very good. And
On the day.
People are doing the same.
That's a weekend.
You're gonna make a video as well?
Yeah, you have to
It's
make a
2
video.
minutes. And you just talk about the style.
yeah, I don't know what that means. Style.
Well, you know how he had like.
Yeah, well,
So the website is just unbound you can just go apply and all you need to do is just fill that as form. You don't need to spend too long on the questions because your action project is Sumobots. Really take about 5 minutes. And then we go for and so that'll get into some details and add you to the mailing list so that we Julian is going down and the webinar section. I'm going to send out an email probably later tonight. And we'll just have sort of the details of like when we'll be having the sessions, a bit more about the program and some of the plans. So we do, in order to satisfy the criteria to get the tip on the next few days, with you know, your group or together with a group, you would just generally submit a short report, it's kind of 5 pages, which we would just here, the short video, and then after the sumo competition, we'll probably do like a quick presentation just on the project, and that's really it. Okay. So they're the only kind of additional commitments above and beyond people doing Sumobots. But that's sort of, you know, just the criteria in the university implement and that. Yeah, and then on top of that, yeah, we really wanted to be able to provide sort of extra context and sort of, you know, that sort of project management and design process as well. And Julian's got like a lot of great insights and you know, likes to sort of have these sort of fun with lines where hopefully it's interesting and useful as well. Yeah, so that's kind of the deal. Yep. We sort of started, we used to run programs overseas, and obviously with COVID it's kind of difficult. Yeah, exactly. So we just sort of started to, so trying to capture a lot of the essence we do there and do it in a format that's not too intrusive into your time. Yes. It's kind of programs like it's already extracurricular for you, you're already spending a time by your that's what it is. Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll probably follow it. Yeah. And I don't know if anyone else in your Sumobot group is interested.
Well, I'm the only one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I got my son mates are like, oh,
What is that? Give us a hand recording.
Hello, recording. Hello, Janice.
So David just wants to go, oh,
Does anyone watch the recording?
have an idea what's going on. Yeah.
It's for the team.
That's really
Oh, can I take one? Thank you.
I'm not sure the sort of the
one of them says, well, I guess they work with me, so I feel like now it has to be very related sort of thing rather than sure.
Yeah, that's cool. But I would think there would probably be 1 or 2 other people at least here that doing the program. Yeah. So it might be easy as well to just not for working in the sumo. Let's do that as a group with your mates, but that works a bit. Yeah, exactly. To do that, yeah. So you're not doing all your programs together. Yeah, trying to jump to that. I kind of asked before, and everyone's really hesitant to okay, so I won't know if they're really
Oh yeah, but like it's just
we do have
just like
Try and work up on the shoes.
we're not meant to be in it. He's still behind the table, like can't see him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You know, every time we order them, everyone's like, "Oh, who's gonna eat them?" Like, can't be well. But then you had COVID last week, so you can eat them.
It was more like provisional. These days, so there's more people taking staying with us.
That's really helpful to know. Yeah, if you got any questions,
How's your health session today?
Julian an email or myself. And you know, if you get us on a weekend,
You like the cross?
She is
missing out.
But yeah, cool. Otherwise, yeah,
Not just-
well, not just with something that's kind of useful.
Is this part of the budget? Or did it take us?
Last week on Tuesday or something.
And I quote, like I said, probably just have one email somewhere that's
Yeah, it was up on the slide.
Yeah, someone's like not paying attention or something.
No, that's cool. That's what I was hoping if I came here today.
I'm gonna go check some.
Yeah. Awesome. So it's Brendan. Yes. Yeah, cool. Nice to meet you. Great. Oh, right. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Okay. Awesome.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Oh, I just washed my hands today.
Today?
This morning.
You washed your hands this morning. Oh, your hair. Okay.
Is anyone's? Oh my god.
For the team. Hello.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Is that all?
Oh no, it's just my screensaver. If you've watched it like that. That's what it is.
No,
Like,
no way.
this is another thing.
I don't know, man. What am I? That's different.
Like, you know the timer before like the Evo dies? Oh, getting runs out of battery. Essentially active timer. Oh, okay. And I feel like it's a travesty because I feel like
That's it.
You know,
everyone says it's like
16 holes.
well, no, it's not everyone.
Everyone says that.
People don't talk about it, but everyone who watched this video is classic. Like, I love it. I love it. Evangelion.
Oh yeah. All right, you're supposed to watch that.
Yeah, I'm the Evangelion fan.
I just took this one.
You haven't started.
Yeah, because I was thinking carrying.
Just carrying that.
No, you, teaching.
Oh yeah, because I remember him saying actually exactly the same for the video.
Oh,
Like, I'm not gonna pass up $50 an hour.
Personally,
She's outside eating the pizza.
I already done so. Oh my god, I'm literally buying the same machine. It's coming like at the end of this month. It's nice or exciting. Is it working? It is. Oh my god, it's black.
Thank you for that. That's good. Yeah, there's a couple of people here that have already signed up, which is good, and another guy, Brendan, who's interested to apply, which is cool. So I think what I might try and do is for the next few weeks, come in on the Tuesday and the Thursday, so I can try and sort of catch people on either day. And Julie's kind of going to kick just the remote webinars off next week, so sort of similar to what we did last semester, and they're all recorded as well, so people can catch up. And then maybe at the end of these sorts of sessions is maybe when I might, if we want to do any end-hour chat for 15 minutes, I'll grab to them, just so they're not missing any yeah, at the end, yeah. If there's any sort of team time or anything at the end, that's good. Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again. I'm sorry you had to come and get me as well. I felt like a bit of a burden sort of giving it a call. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, cool. All right, well, I'll catch you next week.
Oh yeah, I must do it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, could I please get your attention for a quick second, please? Guys, could I please get your attention really quick, please? Awesome, thank you so much. So hopefully you all have gotten some response from your ultrasonic sensor. If you guys are still having problems, please let us know. But we'll be going around now helping you calibrate your own sensors so that they'll be more accurate when you actually do compete. You guys can go back to talking now. Thank you.
Oh, stop recording. Just click stop.
Let's go to
How do you edit that last bit?